What's up with your butter? What is up, my beautiful Glamazons? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to your favorite with your messy ass story time. I know that you guys are dying to hear what happened for the next part of meeting my man's girl best friend. I cannot be the only one that has gone through this. So I hope you guys have your wine, your snacks, everything you need, get nice and comfy, or take care of that chore while I'm in the background telling you the tea, because we're about to jump right in. But before we do, I really want to introduce you guys to something that I'm so freaking excited about. I know that you guys are seriously going to fall in love because I did. Raise your hand if coffee is the love of your life. Yes, I see you. And if you're wondering why I'm in the best mood ever, girl, okay, let me give you the tea. Cometeer is a completely new way to make your coffee. It is the only coffee on the market that's flash frozen to lock in the freshness. So by the time it gets to you, it is the freshest coffee that you could possibly get your hands on. So here's how it works. It is a monthly subscription-based service where they will send you your capsules to your door. These capsules are flash frozen. Also, they come out with different roasts every month. So you're able to expand your palate when it comes to coffee, the different notes, dark roast, medium roast, light roast, and they even have a decaf option for those of us that love the taste but don't need the caffeine at that very moment. So today I decided to go in with the Southern Weather capsule, and this has notes of milk, chocolate, plum, and candied walnuts. Here's what the capsules look like, and when they're sent to you, they come alongside this card that gives you different ways to make your coffee. Whether it's hot coffee, iced coffee, or even espresso, you can do this with Cometeer's capsules. Using Cometeer is very, very simple. All you have to do is grab your capsule out of the freezer. You can just have it out for a few minutes, it'll melt on its own, or if you want to use it right away, you just have to run it under some warm water for a few seconds. It literally melts that fast. As per usual, you grab your glass with some ice and about 6 to 8 ounces of water, and you pour your capsule in and watch the magic happen. Adding in your creamer, this is my favorite part. It's so aesthetically pleasing. This coffee took my breath away. It was that good. I could literally taste the difference between how fresh this coffee is versus any instant coffees that I've used. The longer coffee sits on your counter and your pantry, even in your refrigerator, coffee loses its freshness over time, girls. And this is a surefire way to ensure that you have the best cup of coffee in your life for less than $2 a day. Cometeer was nice enough to extend a special offer to my Glamazons. If you guys want to try them out, all you have to do is click the link down in my description box below. Use my code NikkiGWP. You'll get yourself a cute tumbler just like this. Great for commuting, and it has a splash guard as well, and it'll keep your coffee nice and cold or nice and hot, however you like it. You have not tasted coffee until you taste Cometeer. Link down below, and don't forget to use my coupon code for your free gift with purchase with Cometeer. I know that you guys are gonna love it, enjoy it, be floored by it. Thank you to my homies over at Cometeer for partnering with me on this video and also introducing me to literally the best tasting coffee of my life. Now that we're all energized and things, let's get into this story time. Okay, so where were we? Girl, his entire demeanor changed, and I was like, oh, pues wow. So it kind of reassured me that everything was gonna be fine. I got off of my petty wagon, girl, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I made my point. I'm not gonna be petty no more because now he sees what happens. I don't remember what Mark's living situation was, but I will say that he did stay at the house for a few weeks, and then he left. I think he went to go stay with his mom or other family members. During that middle period when Mark had left, basically everything between Robert and I went back to normal. After that happened, when I went to the store with him, I swear on everything, Robert was like on me like white on rice when it came to Mark, and he just did not want us hanging out together anymore. And the next thing I know, Mark's not really coming to the house anymore. But I wasn't tripping about it because honestly, I didn't know Mark like that, girl. I was just like, you know, using him for my petty ways, like, you know what I mean? But if my man's is acting right, well, then that's fine. It had been a good minute since this happened with Mark, because I was working at Ross. And this was at the point where we started taking on some of the utilities and the cost of groceries and stuff like that. We're trying to be grown. I remember being at work and I got a text from Heather. She was like, bitch, call me. So I texted her back and I was like, girl, I'm at work. I don't know, go to the bathroom, it's urgent. And I was like, okay. Heather never hit me up like that. But honestly, because at this time I was basically living with her, I thought that there was like something wrong, like I was gonna get kicked out or some shit, honestly, because like the way she was acting had me booty tight, girl. I get off the floor, I go to the bathroom, and I call her, and I'm like, hey girl, what's up? And she was like, hey, she was like, what you doing? And I was like, I'm working, Heather. Well, when are you gonna be home? And I was like, So I tell her at the end of my shift, I was already halfway through my work day. So I tell her, you know, I'm gonna get off at this time. And she was like, is there any way that you can make it earlier? And I was like, no. I was like, Heather, what's going on? Do you know where Robert is right now? And I was like, yeah, he's at work. Like, girl, we were always fucking working, he and I, right? At the time, Robert had his job at this gas station. I've mentioned this before. He hated working there. The hours were crazy, whatever. So I tell her, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like he's at work. And she was like, is he? I can't stand when my friends play this game with me. Like, girl, if you don't just spill the beans with me already, stop with the whodunit shit. Like, what is going on? He's not at work, Nikki. Where Robert worked was right down the street from the neighborhood that he and Heather lived at, okay? Literally right down the street. That's why he got that job, okay? So Heather starts telling me her story, right? And she's like, okay, so I just got off of work, da-da-da. And she was like, and I stopped to go get gas. And so, you know, I stopped over there because, you know, my homie works there. You know what I'm saying? She's talking about Robert's gas station. So like, you know, I go there and I'm pumping gas or whatever. And I decide that I want to go inside and go get me some snacks or whatever, say what's up to Robert. Y'all, I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, Robert would give us a few free things or like just kind of give us some discounts on stuff. So she was like, I wanted to get me some snacks. I was like, uh-huh. And girl, why did I walk in there? He's not there. And I was like, what do you mean? Obviously, this is my man's. So I had texted him throughout the day. He let me know that he was at work. Like I knew that he was at work. So I am so confused right now. And I'm like, one of Robert's friends worked at that gas station as well. Apparently, when Heather walked in there, that other guy recognized Heather and was like, hey, what's up? You know, she asked that guy, she was like, oh, hey, where's Robert? And that guy was like, oh, he left early today. Of course, Heather being my bestie, she was like, oh, you know, like, was he okay? Was he sick? Is everything okay? Y'all, this boy tells Heather, hey, I'm gonna try to make it like a little PG so YouTube, you know, don't come at me sideways. But he said that he had to leave early because some girl with a big old booty came in and that she was upset and that Robert left with her. Bitch, what you mean? What you mean? Y'all, I literally stopped breathing. And I'm like, my heart dropped. You know that feeling when somebody kind of gives you a hint of what your man's might be up to. And you know, because both me and Heather knew that's Jasmine. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Before I can even say anything though, Heather's like, so my next course of action was, you know, to drive by his house. Did he go home? That's my girl. That's my girl. And what? Is he home? Is he home? Why did Heather tell me not only is he home, Nikki, but Jasmine's car is here too? What? I know you got savings, girl. You might have to bail me out. So I'm gonna call you back. I'm literally taking the phone away from my face and I can hear her, Nikki, don't, like, you know, it's okay. Like, you know, it's gonna be fine. Like, don't do anything, whatever. And I was like, my boss was super nice to me, but he was actually very pervy. All right. And because I was underage and he was already in his 30s, married with a child, and he was just doing too much. But having a pervy boss like that, I got to get away with a lot. Like if I wanted to extend my breaks or whatever, like he was just very lenient on me, okay? The minute that I put that phone down, I headed straight to my boss's office, okay? I don't even remember what I said. I definitely lied to him and I was like, oh, this and this is going on. I gotta go. And he was like, oh, and again, I had already worked the majority of my shift. I am literally distraught and he is under the impression that it's because of this emergency, but nah, girl, because I am distraught because in this very moment, my mans is cheating on me with a big booty girl, with his best friend. You know what I mean? Are you okay? Like, do you need a ride? Like, you know, do you need any help? Like, what can I do? Very, very concernicus, right? Keep in mind, your girl didn't have no car. I didn't have a car until I was 19 years old and I could buy it myself. So I was on the bus, okay? Did he just offer me a ride? Because I need to get there now. Bus ride from my job back over to that side of town, over 45 minutes. And that's not even including how long I would have had to wait at the bus stop for the next bus to come. Girl, I wouldn't have been there for over an hour. And I need to know what's happening now. Do you mind driving me? Could you please drive me? Yeah, this boy jumps up real fast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let me just grab my jacket and stuff. You can meet me out front. I'll drive you, like no big deal. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like literally seething. I feel like heat is coming off of my skin, but also at the same time, I want to like shit and throw up all over myself, you know? So I go walking through the store, and some of my other coworkers that are my friends, they're like, hey, like we need you up at the front. Like, can you take over this cash register? And I was like, no, I'm leaving. And like, they were like, what the fuck? I didn't answer anybody. I was just like, I can't with y'all because my mans might be cheating on me with a big booty bitch. Here comes my manager. We hop into his little, you know, hoopty of a car, and we head directly to Robert's house. He drives me over there, and the whole way he's trying to have like small talk, and like, you know, I think he was trying to like cheer me up and make me laugh. And I was just like, I did not tip Robert off at all. I didn't text him, call him, ask him, nothing. I didn't want him to know not a damn thing about where I was. Whatever I need to know is what I'm gonna walk in on, okay? After a while, my boss kind of gets the hint, and he just stops talking altogether because I was literally not saying a word. And he was just like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will pay you back. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. And I just jump out of the car, and I just hear him being like, okay, let me know if you need anything. I'll see you at work or whatever. I shut the door, and I am already halfway up the driveway by the time he's driving off. I saw Robert's car in the driveway. Wait a minute. And I knew after Jasmine had been around all of these times, I knew what kind of car she drove, and it was a white car, okay? So I'm like looking around, and I don't see there's no white car in front of the house. So I'm like, what the hell is Heather talking about? Down the street a little bit, like I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 houses down the street, there's her car. Does that not seem like some shady ass cheating ass behavior to like park? Why are you parking over there? Oh bitch, you thought. I did. I had a key to the house. So I walk into the house, and I immediately beeline it to the basement because that's where his room is. I get down halfway down the stairs, and I'm about to go down the second half, and I see that Robert's door is open. So I go down the rest of the stairs. I peek in. There's nobody in there. Lights are off. TV's off. The bed is right there. Nobody is in there. So I'm like, let me find out they in the bathroom. I go around the corner. I bust into the bathroom. There's Robert on the toilet doing the caca, and he's on his phone, and like he's by himself. The way that this boy looked at me when I opened that door, he was all, and he's just like, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? You're using the bathroom? And I was like, why aren't you at work? And then his face changed, and he was like, oh, there was an emergency. And I was like, with what? With who? Where? What? Aren't you supposed to be at work? Did you get off early? And I was like, Robert, what is going on? Why did you leave work early? What emergency is happening? Okay, just give me a second. Oh, you think this is a game? You gonna have me wait? So I like step into the bathroom, and I'm like, Robert, what is going on? And he's like, he's at the sink washing his hands, and he turns around, and he was like, please don't be mad at me. Oh my God, I hate when dudes say that. How about you don't do anything that would make me mad at you? How about that? Robert, for the last time, what is going on? He goes into his story. Okay, so I was at work, right? I already know that part, Robert. Stop playing with me. So Jasmine showed up to my job. I'm waiting for the fire, flood, blood. I'm waiting for the emergency here. Y'all, he is so nervous. Like, literally, this boy was like, I had never seen him that nervous before. And it was just making me even more sure that something bad had happened. At this point, I'm backing out of his bathroom because I was like, he's about to tell me that he messed up, that he had a lack of judgment, basically like he fucked up, you know? And if I feel like I'm gonna get heartbroken, I will fucking run. Like, I will leave. I'm not going to play this game. So I start backing up, and I'm like, that's all I need to hear. That's it. I just needed to know. So you left your job because she came crying to you, and you brought her here. And by this point, I'm backing up into his room. He's coming out of the bathroom. He was like, how do you know she's here? Why would I not know that she's here? I didn't tell you that I brought her here. And I was like, Robert, do you think I'm dumb? Do you think I'm dumb? I was like, I saw her car parked down the street. After that, there was no holds barred. And he was like, listen, I am not going to get in trouble for this. It's like, literally, you were in the worst of trouble. What the fuck do you mean? Baby, it's not my fault. Like, it's not like that. You already know that. Like, I would never do that to you. And I was like, okay, please stop talking to me in circles and come right up the street. What is happening? She's upstairs. She's upstairs with my mom. I swear to God, she is upstairs, babe. Did this boy just say that she's upstairs with his mom? At this point in time, I was very confrontational. So that's all I needed. I wanted to know what the hell was going on, first of all. And secondly, like, why is the first person that you're running to my man's? Like, I just feel like that is so inappropriate. Even if you do have a best friend relationship, like, you can't even let him finish work? It can't be handled in a text message. Like, you have him leave his job. This girl. Okay. He starts coming behind me. No, babe, you don't get, like, you don't understand. I was like, I will find out on my own because you are taking forever to get to the point. As we're going up the stairs, we're coming from the basement. So we go up, to the first floor, and then I got to go up to the second floor where his mom's room is, right? And so as, like, halfway up the stairs, she's like, babe, she's like heartbroken. And I was like, what? She's heartbroken over Mark. By this point, I'm already heading up the second flight of stairs to the second floor. And he says that, and I'm like stopped, and I look at him and I was like, what? And before he can answer, I hear his mom at the top of the landing. Like, they had like a loft area up there, and there was like their computer space up there, and I could hear her voice, and she was like, Nikki, I'm here, honey. Come here. Let's talk. And I was like, and I knew she could tell that I was pissed. I had been yelling. I had been like all up in my feels, and like, I didn't know. Oh my God. So immediately I'm like, oh shit, At that point, me and Robert are done talking. And as soon as I walk up there, I see his mom. We're going to call her Brenda. As soon as I lay eyes on her, she was like, come here. So, I go to her and I hug her because I just felt so confused and so upset. And like, my nerves were just like so fucking shot because I was seriously convinced that I was going to come in here and find my man's with another girl. Sweetheart, it's going to be fine. It's not what you think. She was like, let's all talk about it. When she said, let's all talk about it, I thought she meant me, you, Robert. And there was like a little love seat on the other side of that loft. So I turn around to go sit on that love seat. And as soon as I do, I see Jasmine on that love seat just bawling, okay? Like, her face was like all inflamed, red, swollen. You could tell that she had been crying her eyes out. So awkward. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I feel conflicted feelings because I don't know her like that. And I also felt like, why did you have to have my man like leave his place, his job, in order to handle this situation? And I still had my feelings, but also this girl's crying. So, and I'm not heartless. So I make my way over there and I sit down next to her and I was like, are you okay? And she was like, Nikki, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that like I went to Robert. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've been through a lot and like, I just kind of freaked out. And I was like, and as she's talking, she's like getting herself more and more upset. And I'm like, hey, okay. Like, okay. We gotta figure this out. Cause like, I'm on fire. You're like on fire. Like, it's just a lot of emotions, right? To get myself to breathe. And I'm like, hey girl, you breathe too. We breathing? Okay, cool. And Brenda rolls her computer chair directly in front of me and Jasmine. And she sits there and she was like, Nikki, she was like, that Jasmine, has been around our family for years since she was little. Boom, ping in my heart, okay? Like, it's so hard to hear your man's mom talk about another girl that has been, heavily involved with them. Immediately, I'm like, yeah, I know, Brenda, I know she's like family. there's just a lot of history here, and we're trying to figure it out because things just didn't work out the way that Jasmine thought they would, right, Jasmine? Y'all, by this point, I'm so sick and tired of everybody speaking in code. I literally looked at Jasmine and I was like, can you just tell me what's going on, please? Like, I just really want to know what's going on. So a few years back, Mark and I used to date. Brenda interjects and she was like, Jasmine, you guys were not dating. Okay, y'all went on a few dates, but my son let you know that it was nothing serious, okay? He was just trying to be nice and he did not feel comfortable. You're like his little sister. Jasmine just starts crying. And y'all, I'm sitting here like, you and Mark had a thing? In the middle of her sobs, she's telling me about like this. Honestly, you know, for what it was a fling. According to her, they never did the thing ever. And they went on a few dates. He took her to the movies, he took her to the mall, he took her to dinner. And apparently she got really attached to him. She would call him all the time, text him or whatever. As they got older, they just kind of started growing apart. As Mark got older and he was over the age of 18, he started feeling uncomfortable with this situation. He told Jasmine, I cannot be messing with you, like you are still in high school. So apparently what had happened was, according to Brenda, okay, because Robert's mom was all up in our teenage tea. Like she knew exactly what was going on. So while Jasmine is sobbing her eyes out, Brenda starts laying out the entire story for me. When they were younger, all of this happened. I guess they had a crush on each other at some point and they started having their little dates. This was at the point in time when Mark was pretty much living with Brenda and with Robert and his brother, like he was a part of the house, right? So apparently that's how they started connecting. There were so many moving parts for Mark and he had like this whole family situation going on. So he ends up leaving to go live with his actual family, you know? And apparently Jasmine was devastated about it. She kept trying to get a hold of him, calling him, texting him, even emailing him, and he wasn't getting back to her, right? So she goes running to Brenda and is like, oh my God, you know, like he's ignoring me, da-da-da. Brenda ends up getting a hold of Mark and is like, what is going on? Like, even if you don't want to talk to her anymore, like you need to let her know. Like she's trying to figure out her emotions. She's very young, like just, you know, let her down softly. Finally, Mark gets a hold of Jasmine and tells her something along the lines of, you know, I'm getting older. We're just in different places of our life or whatever. And I honestly, and at the end of the day, like you are like my sister and I just don't feel comfortable with dating you. Like I just can't. In that moment, Brenda was like, which was the right decision. And I stand by my son's decision because that makes a lot of sense. She was like looking at Jasmine like, you know, I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but it was the truth, you know? I'm hearing all of this and I'm still confused because according to them, this happened a few years back. So why is this emotion fresh right now? Y'all, it turns out that after that happened, Jasmine did not see Mark again until the other day when he came to the house and all that happened when he showed up for the party. What? And she was like, yeah, like, you know, we just, everything had stopped. And like, that was the first time that I saw him or was around him in a long time, right? I instantly felt this pang of guilt because I had no idea that like this happened between Jasmine and Mark, number one. And number two, I was like in my petty ways. And meanwhile, this girl is like devastated and heartbroken over this boy. And I had no fucking clue. All of a sudden, Jasmine looks over at me, tears coming down her face. And she was like, just tell me, like, did anything happen between y'all that day? Okay, look, don't offend me, okay? I'm with Robert. Like, why would I mess with Mark and do that? She went from like sobbing to like wiping her face. She was like, well, you guys were like by yourselves multiple times that day. And like you guys were by yourselves like in the basement. And then you guys were like going on trips to the store and stuff like later on and like at another point in time. And it just kind of seemed like there was something going on. And I was like, I end up looking at Brenda like, if you do not get her, like, I just did not understand how I got roped into all of this. And I still didn't have the answer as to why Jasmine was currently devastated, okay? Because, like, again, even what happened at the party and me going to the store with Mark and all that, that happened weeks ago. Weeks ago. So, like, what happened today that was the cause for you to be this upset to go to my man's and have him leave work? Here we go. Jasmine starts crying all over again. And Brenda explains to me that Jasmine got a hold of Mark and was asking him when he was going to come over, like inviting him to Robert's house. Okay? And like just taking the initiative, just planning shit at Robert's house and saying, oh my God, we're going to have something here. You want to come? Like trying to get him to come out because he had already left, right? So apparently, girl, they're texting back and forth and it's like very lighthearted, very topical. And Mark was like asking questions like, you know, what are y'all doing? What are y'all's plans? You know, I might make it, whatever. And then Jasmine tried to take it there where she was like, you miss us hanging out and like maybe we should like go to a movie like old times or whatever. Like she was shooting her shot, okay? Apparently, Mark did not like that very much. And he straight up told her, Jasmine, I already told you that will never happen between us, ever. Then, this bitch, she puts me in this shit and texted Mark something along the lines of, oh, but you can spend some quality time with a girl that you don't even know that's your brother's girlfriend. Like, you had no problem going to the store with her and playing video games with her. Jasmine, for real, really. I was like, so you have a problem with the fact that my boyfriend's brother wanted to play video games with me? Like, I was like, you don't even know what happened. To be honest, it really bothered Robert. And she was like, that's why we were talking that day out on the curb because he was like really bothered by it. Do not speak to me about what my man has an issue with because that is my man. I don't care how best friends y'all think y'all are. Like, if Robert has something to say to me, he could say it to me. Meanwhile, Robert's funky ass is literally standing on the landing of the stairs, just overhearing everything that we're saying, right? So I literally get up and I look over the rail and I'm like, Robert, get up here. Like, let's just get it all out on the table because I'm not going to be pulled into this and then having this girl trying to talk to me sideways and like put me in to this situation between her and Mark. Here he comes. Tail tucked between his legs. His mother's just sitting there like, you're gonna learn not to be talking about your girlfriend to another girl. You're gonna learn that today. So was there a conversation that you wanted to have with me in regards to playing video games with Mark and going to get snacks with him at the store? No, because like we already had that conversation. And I was like, yeah, that's true. I was like, I mean, did you feel any other way about it? I thought that we had an agreement. Like, I thought we understood each other. Like, I thought everything was cool. And he was like, no, like, everything is cool, babe. He was like, I trust you. Like, everything is cool. Like, I just didn't know what was going on in the moment. He was like, but, you know, like, I trust you for sure. Here goes Jasmine. And she looks at him. She was like, Robert, seriously? Like, you were so bothered by that. And, like, you were so upset. And, like, that's what you told me. And Robert looked at her and he was like, no, Jasmine, you were more upset than I was about it. Y'all, at this point, we're all talking over each other. And I'm just like, this is really dumb. And I don't know you like that. And you, like, this is why I don't need you talking about anything that you have an issue with me about to anybody else, especially not another girl. Especially, okay? You had any issues, questions, concerns, that you bring it to the source because then this is what happens. Jasmine was like, I'm not even upset about that. Like, that's not even like what this is about. And I was like, finally, what is it about? When Jasmine brought me up and she was like, oh, so like, you know, you're just gonna do that with your brother's girlfriend, da-da-da. He texted her back right away. I don't know what you're trying to say, but I would never do that to my brother. But I see why your little ass is jealous of her because she is finer than you. I did not believe it for one fucking second. I, in my mind, thought that she was making all of this up to get to Robert and to have an excuse to go to Robert's place of work. And so I was like, no, he didn't. He did. He did. And so she hands me her phone, bitch. And I literally see with my own two eyes that this boy for real jabbed at her using me and like told her that I was finer than her. So you went to Robert's job? was like, Nikki, look, he's the only person that understands me. He's the only person that knows about what happened between me and Mark. And like, Mark and I had a connection. And like, if anybody saw that and anybody knows that, it was Robert. And like, he was the first person that came to mind. And I just had to talk to somebody. That's not enough of a reason to me. Still not enough of a reason. Like, you, what? And literally his mom read my mind and she looked at her and she was like, you cannot go and get my son out of his job because you're in your feelings about a relationship that wasn't even yours to begin with. Preach it, Brenda. I appreciated Brenda like coming to my defense, and I just had such a bad taste in my mouth about her. I honestly, like, straight up, had it not been for Brenda sitting there, me and her probably would have gotten into a fight because she was really getting in her feelings and that was causing her to talk to me sideways. And I was just like, man, if you really want to be devastated about something, like, we could fight. Honestly, bitch, I didn't know that like my petty ways was going to turn into all this. I really didn't. I didn't know that anything like this was going on. Y'all, I get up and I'm like getting ready to go and I look at Robert's face, and when I tell you, he had, I don't know how to explain it, this look on his face of like sympathy and hurt and like major concern. And he's looking at Jasmine crying, and I could literally see on his face that, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I will say that he has never looked at me that way. Never. And it was in that moment, I was like, maybe nothing happened between them because Robert had feelings for Jasmine, but Jasmine had feelings for Mark. I gave Brenda a hug and I was like, thank you for talking to me. You know, I'll see you later. And she grabbed me and she was like, please don't let this upset you. Like, you know, you didn't know any of this was going on. And I was like, and I would have preferred not to, but I love you. I'll see you later. Bye. I don't say shit to Jasmine. Not a damn thing. Because, like, your frustration is put towards the wrong person. And I just felt like she really was trying to turn Robert against me because she was mad at me because I hung out with Mark for, like, a small amount of time. Robert follows me. He walks me to the front door, and the whole time he's like, please don't go. Like, please. And I was like, no, like, this is just, this is messy. And this is exactly what I try to tell you about. Like, I don't want any drama. Why didn't you tell me that all of this was going on? And he was like, honestly, I thought it was over. Like, I just like, they hadn't spoken to each other in like forever. And I straight up looked at him and I was like, if you ever leave your job for another girl ever again, this ain't gonna work. Like, all right, well, peace out. I'm headed to Heather's house. I'll talk to you later. He is like just groveling. He is just apologizing and just like literally borderline begging me not to leave. And I was like, I got to go. And I go to Heather's house and she is literally waiting for me at the door. She wants the tea so bad. Did you fight her? Did you fight that bitch? And I was like, you have no idea. And she was like, so we immediately go inside. We go down to her basement. This is what happened. I was involved in this. I had no idea. I didn't know what had happened between Jasmine and Mark before. I didn't even know that she had feelings for him. I didn't know, you know. Heather just sat there and she had the same sentiment that I did. And she was like, but that still doesn't explain why she went straight to Robert. And I was like, I definitely think that it was like to shade me. Like, I think that Mark pissed her off by saying that and making a comparison between she and I. And so in order to get back at me as though I did this intentionally towards her, she went to my man and had him leave his job for her. And so that's exactly what she did. I feel like, if I'm being real, I feel like in this story, she definitely took the petty crown because that was some petty behavior. You can't tell me no different. You can't tell me that that was not premeditated, bitch. And she was like, oh, you think that bitch is fine? I'll go get her man. So that is the story about what happened after the initial time meeting Mark and how this kind of just escalated. And there was a whole story behind this situation that I had no idea about, bitch. That is my story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you already know what to do with that like button so the algorithm loves your girl. And if you're not a part of my glam fam, what you doing? Just take a look down there. Make sure you're subscribed. I would really love to have you be a part of my glam fam. And of course, don't forget to try out Cometeer. You guys can check out my description box for the link. And don't forget to use my code NikkiGWP for your free gift with purchase. I promise It's about to be the best tasting coffee of your life. I love you so much, and I will see your fine ass in my next video. Peace out.